Hello my loves, I'm Ellie Frost. Thank you so much for being on my channel, where we are talking about the multi-dimensional approach to rapidly and radically healing and transforming during and after narcissistic abuse and going on to create our most fulfilling, on purpose, abundant and lovely lives, right? This video is about, right, energetically releasing trauma in the body. I'm just going to talk you through it because I've talked many times on this channel about the main reason that PTSD and trauma isn't being dealt with very well in therapy in the mainstream, often, not always, there's great people out there, is that people are trying to deal with it on the level of the mind. It's not a mind issue. So you can't solve a thinking with a feeling. And what happens with trauma is that something happened in the body energetically, right? And it caused your energy field to lock. And that lock is because it didn't process the feelings. Yeah? And the body is actually naturally designed to process feelings. We're just not taught to make time for it or to actually do it. We're taught to think and analyze, and all that does is keep us stuck in the feelings, because every time we're thinking the thoughts that are connected to the feelings, we're re-feeling the feelings, rather than separating the thoughts from the feelings, letting the feelings just resolve in the body, be released in the body, and then we can use our thinking to make new decisions and decide what we're going to do next, because emotions are messengers overall. And one of the questions we're going to answer, I'm doing a video in Sovereign on this tomorrow, but like one of the things that comes up for people that seems very complicated is that we think that because we've been through so much, that there's so much trauma. But really, actually, we've only got to get to the root cause, and your body knows what that is, because really what happens when we're traumatized and re-traumatized and going through these cycles is that the same root cause, the same wound gets reignited and re-hit and re-triggered every time. So that it's not as complicated as we think it is when we intellectualize it. The people that tend to have the hardest time sometimes initially releasing trauma are the people like myself who are pretty intellectual and think a lot. The people who don't have such active minds tend to be able to just get into their body and release it once they learn the techniques I teach quicker, just because like they haven't been like so intellectualized in their minds naturally. I'm a deep thinker, you know, you can probably tell, like I'm quite an intellectual type person. So for us, we have to learn what I teach even more, so that we know how to deal with the right thing in the right way. So when I go through what I go through, it doesn't take as long as you would think, not long at all overall, to release the trauma, because your body knows instinctively what it hasn't processed. And I put you in an energetic state where you can just like allow that process to actually naturally happen. You don't even have to put words to it, in fact. Our minds are meant to be used for when we want to look at our patterning and say, I'm noticing I'm doing that. Do I want that to be my pattern? What would I rather believe and think that I can then use to manifest what I want? But when we are traumatized, the body's going first. It's the subconscious in the body that is like affecting the thinking. So we're not actually proactively in control of our thinking. Our thinking is being triggered by the feelings that are associated with that thinking. So when people teach manifestation that like just think better thoughts and you'll feel better, that works apart from when you're very traumatized and the body's constantly going first, right? So in Sovereign, I completely changed that with you. And it's actually not that complicated, because although we might have had many traumatic experiences, we haven't actually at the root got that many traumas. They're all often linked to our sense of self or our sense of safety, like our core chakras, like just core things. And your body's actually ready to just like let that process through and come back into alignment, come back into a reset that is your true nature, that is like your true natural response, which is actually quite calm, right? not so much like reactive and responding from the past. So let's just do a little exercise. So just take a deep breath with me. Even going into your body when you're traumatized can be quite hard, right? Just to be aware of our body. So I teach you to just kind of, when you do this, right, not just to like let what's there to be there. So if you notice anything, let it be there. Let go of resistance to being any kind of sensation that you may or may not feel. You could be aware of your body. You could be aware of your neck or your back or your feet or your legs. But like, whatever's there, just be aware of it. Don't make it mean anything. See if you could just come into your awareness and allow your body to do what it can right now to release anything that you may have held on to that's in your way of you feeling like you can relax, like you could trust life, like you could trust other people. Maybe you've got some questions or uncertainties about your relationship with God or Source, the Divine, your higher knowledge, your higher power. Maybe you've made some decisions about what you get to do, be and have. Could you let it all just be there right now? And be willing to release what you can. Let your body do what it does. It knows what to do. And if you can just come into that awareness now, you might want to put your hand on your heart. Just come into your heart. Even like, so there's a thing called brain-heart coherence, right? That people talk about. Some people talk about a lot. And it's very helpful. Which is when you're actually thinking from your heart, which is your truth. Not the mental mind traps. Not the stuff you've been taught. Not the programming. Not the reactions. Not the trauma. Not the response. But we're just allowing our higher energy to be able to bring us into our true feelings, into our true guidance, right? And taking our awareness off our brains a little bit. So what we want to do is like let our feeling from our heart guide our thinking, not our trauma response or our thinking from our past, but actually our truth, right? So just connect to your heart and attend that with me now. To start thinking from your heart. And see if you can relax into the awareness of just like dropping down your energy from your brain into your body and that awareness into your heart. And if anything's going on, if that's feeling hard for you, if your mind wants to race or resist it, just let it be there. Doesn't matter. Doesn't mean it won't work for you. Just means you've got something there. Doesn't matter. Doesn't mean it's not effective. It just means that you can have it. You can be aware of it all, and intentional about what you're doing. You don't have to be perfect at this. Nothing can actually spoil it. Your intention overall is what counts. So if you've got racing thoughts or discomfort or you're bored now or it's weird, just let it all be there. It's still going to do what it's meant to do. You don't always have to put words to things. You just have to like, but if you can get into like what you want to feel in your body, what you want to experience, that freshness, that reset, it's available to you now. What about if I just intend to always be able to connect to a feeling of peace? What if nothing outside of me changed, but I could just center into my heart and into my guidance system and into my power at any time? Just drop down into your root chakra, landing at your sacral and your solar plexus. Your body knows what to do, just allowing that to happen. Bringing that energy all the way back up to your heart, into your throat, into your third eye, into your crown. Coming into a bit of a reset. It doesn't have to take a long time. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just centering you into that, knowing there's always another state that you can access, no matter how hard it seems, right? And the first step is coming into your body, being physical. Even if you just touch your body and allow that to be true, like allow yourself just to be present, even if some of the feelings and sensations are uncomfortable. You can't think your way out of them. But you can change your awareness so that you don't have, if something's too intense, you can just move your awareness to somewhere else. And if you come back into your heart every time, you'll be able to transmute things a lot easier. All right, my loves, lots of love. I'll speak to you soon.